think I had myself muted, so sorry about that. Let me start over. Good morning, everybody. Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. Morning, evening, afternoon. I know we're able to interact with everyone at all times of the day throughout the world. So I know it's morning here, but it's not necessarily morning where you may be. So good day to you. Cool. All right. Yes, my name is Justin Jeffress, and I'm evangelist at Amazon, and I teach people how to build Alexa skills, and we're here to answer your questions about Alexa conversations. So yes, but before I do that, just want to go over a few things. Goldzulu is going to be happy because I'm getting right into the thing that I always do. Oh, I'm very quiet. Let me boost this up a little bit. I did another event this morning, and or not this morning, on Saturday. I did a talk for the Alexa community in India, and I had to turn down my audio on that tool that I was using because I was coming in too hot, so had to turn it down, and so now I have to turn it up for this. That's the beauty of technology, right? Like, your settings don't work the same across every application that you use. You kind of have to make tweaks here and there. So yes, and Goldzulu was there. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to go over a few housekeeping items. While I do that, please just paste your questions into the chat, and we will go from there. Let me drop over here. Cool. All right. So yes, we've got the Alexa Skills Conversation Skills Challenge. If you are hearing about this for the first time, you don't have a whole lot of time left, but there is a hackathon that's going on right now for Alexa Conversations, and we have 14 more days until the submission deadline, so September 14th. So there you go. You got 2 weeks. 2 weeks may seem like a lot, but it's the it's the last sprint towards that finish line. And Goldzulu says, "Here comes that deadline reminder." Yep, I do it every time. Yes, so remember, there's over $101,000 in prizes that you could possibly win. I highly recommend that you build something and you submit your skill. There's a whole bunch of resources that we have on the resources tab. There is a Slack channel. Copy that link, paste it in the chat for you all. If you're not already in the Slack channel, join the Slack channel. There's lots of great information that you can learn from there. A lot of people in there answering questions. And one thing that I really, really appreciate is that I've noticed over time, as all of you are getting more and more familiar with Alexa Conversations, you're starting to help each other out and answer each other's questions, and it's wonderful. I love it. Yeah, the other day I was like typing up a response, and somebody responded, and I was like, wow, this is great. I'm going to, you're beating me to it. So I like that. Then we also have a link here for our content that we are delivering as far as like other online, and so we do our weekly office hours, but we also have some other things. And you'll notice, for the ones that have already taken place in the past, we now have a link to view them on demand, so you can view the videos here. So that's one nice thing is we're doing all of these things over the internet, and they're all recorded and they're all here for you to view later. So this week, outside of office hours, we have an AMA on Slack featuring, oops, that's the wrong one. We have an AMA on Slack featuring Nick Cuneo from iRobot and Stephen Arkonovich from Big Sky. So if you saw the Alexa Live presentation about Alexa Conversations, you saw both Nick and Steve do demos of iRobot and Big Sky. And so they will be on Slack on Wednesday at 9 a.m. answering your questions. So you can ask them all about, all the work that they put into building those skills with Alexa Conversations. And so I'm really looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. So let's see, I think, yeah, I will, let's get to the questions. There's a few more tabs and things I wanted to show, but I'm sure these are like documentation and things that I'm sure will come up while I'm answering your questions. So let's go to that. I do this every time. I copy and paste your questions into this little into this text file. So let's do that. All right. Trade last says, this morning I'm getting build fails for the first time without the separate error message, as in if there are no separate error messages, failure is due to intermittent issues. Please try again. There are yep. So you're not the only one that's been reporting this. I think Joel Favreau, I don't know if he's watching, or Favol, or however you pronounce the last name, said that he was getting these same problems over the weekend. And so I submitted a ticket to the team, and so they're aware of it. Sorry that you're hitting that. Yeah, it looks like this is more than an isolated issue at this point. Okay. Let's see. We've got Nash Nasir says, hey there. For an Alexa Games skill, can I use material from the internet? For example, if I were to make a Mad Libs game by using Mad Libs I found from a random website.com, will I have credit them for the... Oh, okay. That's a good question. So, yes, you should definitely be very, very careful of the things that you use online, because you want to make sure that you're using stuff that has some sort of license that allows you to use it. A lot of sites, especially with like APIs and things and code, they'll have like some sort of license agreement that you'll want to look into and see what it says that you can use in that license agreement. I'll actually go to, let's see. If I go to like our GitHub account, I don't want to update my settings right now. It's the most inopportune time to ask me that. Let's see. So we go to the license here. You'll see that we have, on GitHub here, the Amazon software license, and this tells you what you can and can't do. And, some of those licenses will tell you like you have to give attribution in the software, and it'll tell you like the instructions on what you're supposed to do. So as far as like using some like thing that you grab from somebody's website, if it doesn't say, I would need to do a little bit more research into this myself, but like if it doesn't, like my general rule of thumb is if it doesn't say anything, I don't use it, just because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want that other person to get mad at me. And if in the case where it doesn't have, if it doesn't have like a license, but they do have like their contact information on the website, I'll actually reach out to them and be like, hey, I want to use your thing in, I'm trying to build this thing and I want to use your thing. Is that okay? And what do I need to do that? I think it's good to be a good citizen on the internet and ask people permission to use things, because a lot of people don't. And, it's good to be responsible. Okay, let's see. I'm going to move on to the next question here from Trade Last. Okay. Trade Last asks, are the confirm and deny dialogues only meant for confirming slot values prior to an API call? Or can I use them after the API call to accept or reject a result? API call returns a recommendation in a response that says, I recommend X. Do you like that one? And if the answer is no, elicit a little more information and calls the API again for a different recommendation. I see. Let's see. The affirm and deny dialog acts, I believe, are for confirming your slot values, but there is a way to confirm and deny the API call. So I think yes, you should be able to use the affirm and deny. Oh, but that's going to be before you call the API. After you call the API, you want to do a yes, no. So I think in that case, what you would want to do is like script that out. So after the API is over, you know, have the user come back with a yes example and a no example in your sample dialog. So you'd have two different sample dialogues, one where they say yes, one where they say no. And then when they say no, you just call the API again. Because the way how because you can do a confirmation or on slot values, and you can do it on the API, but that's going to be a yes no question before you call the API. And what you're doing is you're asking if they want another recommendation after the API has done. So that context is different. So what I would do is just add another dialogue turn where the user says no or yes. So you would have two different sample dialogues that represent those two paths. Good question. Okay, let's move on here. We got our data-driven skills has a question in here. Is there a fixed relationship 1-to-1-to-1 between the variables and the slots? For example, height could be 6 foot 2 inches for 74 inches. How do I model that so I get them both into my skills? Good question. Right, if the user, you ask somebody what their height is and they say 6'2" or they say 74 inches. So there's a couple different approaches that you could take to this. Let's see, just trying to like come up with a solution off the top of my head. But so you could have like a foot and an inches slot. If you make the yeah, I'm just trying to think like, you know, if you had an API where you needed both the feet and the inches, you would have to like mark both of those required, and then both of those would be asked for. I don't think there's a way how to conditionally in the model say, hey, if the inches value comes in greater than a certain amount, like for example, if you said the inches were greater than 12 or greater than or equal to 12, don't ask for foot because you've already got a foot. But then what if they say it's 2 inches and it's less than a foot, right? Yeah, that's a really good question. So I have a question back for you. So, you know, is there a case where, you know, there won't be less than a foot? There's always going to be, because, you know, you could just be 6 foot, no inches, right? So it kind of seems like in this example, maybe possibly the foot might be the one that is, well, but then it could be, this is a tricky one. Because the foot could be required but then if they just say the inches, right, you have to have at least one required slot. So, I'm gonna have to think about that one for a little bit. I don't want to take too much time mulling that one over, but all right. Okay, we don't have a whole lot of questions, so maybe I'll be able to come back on that one. Okay, so got another question here from Tradelast. Oh, no, Tradelast just responded saying, yeah, provide documentation and permission. Oh, yes, that's right. That's a really good point, Tradelast. I totally skipped over that. But yes, in relation to your question about Nash Nasir about, you know, getting permission for things, you know, yes, in the testing instructions, when you submit the skill for certification, you do need to provide the information on, you know, like, do you own all the stuff that you're putting in your skill? So, yes, there is, you know, in the testing instructions and in the, in the distribution tab of the dev console. So that is definitely something that you will want to go through. And we will, at some point soon, have, let's see, is it on the schedule? Yes, in fact, I started to read that part of the schedule and then realized I was a week ahead. So on Slack, not this week, but next week, next Wednesday, September 9th, we're we're going to have somebody from the certifications team live answering your questions about Alex conversations and certification. So you'll be able to, ask. And that's a week before the deadline. So that's really cool. And then we'll also have somebody from the certification team in the channel, like while we're streaming live during office hours, being able to answer your questions. From what I understand, they are available at the moment, but sort of split between this and a meeting. I don't know if he is here. I don't actually know what his screen name is, but in any case, we're going to have somebody from the certifications team in the chat for a couple more of these office hours to help out with those types of questions. But yeah, thanks for the assist, Trade Last, on that one. I totally glossed over that. Yes, you do have to provide that information when you submit your skill for publication. Goldzilla says, "Don't spill the coffee." It's an inside joke. Let's see. Oh, cool. Thanks. Trade Last also shared out the. Look at this. I love it. You guys are such a great community. I should say, not just guys. Everyone in this community is great. This is, I love it. You're so very helpful. Like I said, I've noticed people in the chat, like going out. This is the Slack group. If you're not already a member, people are helping people answer their questions. It's wonderful. I really appreciate that. And it's great because, one thing, this is getting on a little bit of a soapbox here, but when you're learning something, I always find, what helps me solidify something and learn is teaching others, right? So it's like I can understand something, but when somebody starts asking me questions about something, it forces me to think about things in different ways, and then that's when I learn a lot. So yeah, again, thank you all for coming in and doing that. So this here is the trademarks and intellectual property for brands. So you'll want to make sure that you follow this when you submit your skill for publication. Make sure that you're documenting everything properly, and ask for permission. Okay, let's see. We've got data-driven skills said they would both. Okay, this is follow-up to the. Yeah, they would both have to be optional. Can they both be optional? Yeah, I don't think they can be. Let's see. I'm gonna. Trade Last says, could you create an utterance set that trains against the different cases, then parse the results in your API handler and return an error from the handler if it does not parse well? Let's see. But can I do the 3 options? Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of questions this week. So I think what I'm going to do is, if people come with questions, feel free to ask, put your question in the chat and I will monitor the chat and I will answer that question. But I kind of want to experiment a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to go to, you know what? I don't know which account this is set to. So let me log in real quick. I kind of want to experiment with this and see if we can figure out this inches question. This is going to be fun. We're going to do some live coding during office hours since we don't have a whole lot of questions. And if you do have questions, feel free, ask away. All right, let's see. Where should I do this? Let's do it. All right, this one is less complicated. So we'll go over here. Now I'll switch back over. Okay, cool. I don't want to share my private information with you all, so that would defeat the point of it being private. So, okay, just had to get logged into the console here. So we're logged in, passwords entered, everything. Okay, so let me see. I'm just got my pet match here. I'm just gonna like take one of these dialogues. Actually, let's create some slot types. So this is going to be a custom slot with values. This is going to be feet. And, oh shoot, that's not a custom slot. We want a number. Shoot, go back. Slot types. Feet, delete it. Okay. Add a slot type. We want an existing slot type, and we're going to use, oh look, yeah. We want a number. And then, that's right. We also want a another number. Oh wait, no, we've already got. That's right. Since it's not a custom, what am I doing? This is a built-in. Sorry, I usually create custom slot types. So it's like in my mind is hardwired to like go to that. So let's just add a dialogue real quick. Actually, data-driven skills. Do you have an example dialogue that you've come up with this? If you do, just paste it in the chat, and I will paste it into this dialogue here. So we'll just call this like get height. And maybe what you do, I don't know if this will confuse the model, but maybe what you can do is we can say get height in feet. Let me make this bigger. No. Maybe what we can do is we can do like get height in feet, then do another dialogue which is get height in inches, and then another dialogue that has get height in feet and inches. I don't know if that'll confuse the model, but that might be the approach that we should take. It's height and weight. Oh, okay. My sample is more complicated. All right. So we have a couple approaches that we could take, but I don't know if this is the best way to do this because it could confuse the model because you have 3 different sample dialogues that are the same in nature. So let's do this though. We'll just say get height in feet. So the user would say, let's see, I am size, no, height, no, feet. Let's see, enter. All right. I am, oh, whoops, what am I doing? I am feet. Enter. Select an option. I want to create a new string. Okay, let's go find our number. And we're going to name this feet add. Okay. And then let's see, then we'll have Alexa respond. Actually, yeah, let's see. I don't know what your skill says and how it responds in this case, but we'll hit the API and be like, I'll just have it say, I'll have it repeat what the user says back. You are so tall. Okay, cool. Yeah, the API will go and look at the height and then say you're either tall or short. Okay, you are ... Okay, enter. So, oh, actually, let's leave it like that. This is going to be an invoke API. We don't have the API or utterance set yet. Let's go ahead and create our utterance set. Let's see, invoke, let's see, evaluate height. Cool, and then this is going to be feet. Save. All right. Oh, and we don't have